Hi, I'm Randy Agner with AGON South Africa, and behind me is our crew from a company of ours, United Pipeline Systems. We're working with Robor on a project for DRD Gold in Johannesburg. This project involves lining 5.5 kilometers of 400 nominal bore pipeline with HDPE liners. Further on in the video, we'll show you some of the highlights of this project and some of the details associated with the project. AGON South Africa and Robor, that's the company up here, are creating a new company to be working in South Africa, and the focus will be on corrosion protection of pipelines throughout Africa.
One of the bigger challenges of the project was laying the project out to minimize the number of line sections. This required removal of mitered fittings and replacing the fittings with swept bends. This process allows the HDPE liner to be pulled right through the bends and minimize the total number of line sections. The original layout of the project had almost 40 straight sections separated by mitered fittings, and this was reduced to 19, which saved project cost and time. The most difficult part of the project had limited access between the railway and commercial buildings. At this location, 6 different mitered fittings were replaced with sweep bends, and this reduced the difficult part of the project into a single section. After all the sections have been identified and the sweep bends have been installed, then the HDPE pipe can be fusion welded for each section. HDPE lining of steel pipes requires a custom-sized HDPE liner specifically designed for the tight liner process. But the material and manufacturing process is similar to freestanding HDPE pipe, so the pipe can be manufactured at a factory where standard HDPE pipes are made. For the DRD project, HDPE pipe joints in 18-meter lengths were delivered from the factory directly to the fusion site to minimize handling and potential damage to the liner. 4 to 6 sections are fused together from each fusion site. We do all our fusions inside a tent to keep potential wet weather and dust from contaminating the fusion process. All external fusion beads are removed to allow for installation into the pipe, and internal fusion beads are removed to ensure a smooth flow to the slurry. All of our fusion technicians are certified with the fusion process, and we have stringent quality standards and tests that we do throughout the fusion process. Here is a typical installation of a tight liner. The 720-meter section consisted of a long straight section, one 30-degree sweep, and then a short straight section. The DRD Gold pipeline had a very large amount of scale buildup from the water process. Prior to installing the HDPE liner, wire brush pigs were required to clean the scale buildup. After cleaning the pipeline, a gauging pig is blown down the pipeline to carry our winch cable and gauge the pipeline. The gauging peg is used to identify any howl welds, dents in the pipeline, or any unknown anomalies that would impede the tight liner installation process. On the DRD project, no anomalies were discovered by the gauging peg. On one end of the section is our winch, and on the other end is our roller reduction box. Once everything is in alignment, the winch will pull the liner into the roller reduction box. The roller reduction box is a key piece of equipment in our process. The roller reduction box gradually reduces the diameter of the liner in each panel of rollers. Some of the rollers are also hydraulically powered so that they push the liner through the roller reduction box. The combination of gradually reducing the diameter and pushing the liner allows the tight liner to be installed in a very long lengths. After the liner is installed through the roller box, it is guided into the steel pipe. The whole 720-meter section is installed in about 30 minutes. The liner is pulled out of the steel pipe on the other end. The liner is pulled out about an extra 5 to 10 meters and allowed to relax. During the relaxation process, the liner will shrink back into the steel pipe and grow tight up against the steel pipe. The relaxation process takes a few hours and will become tight overnight. One HDPE flange will be installed during the relaxation process and then the final HDPE flange after the relaxation process. The process of installing an HDPE flange is similar to the HDPE fusion process. The same fusion machine is used, but it is broken down to a smaller package to help align the machine with the pipe. Prior to the fusion of the HDPE flange, proper alignment between the pipe and the flange is achieved. After the HDPE flange is installed on the one end, the liner is allowed to relax and the HDPE flange will retract tight against the steel flange. The HDPE liner will now grow tight against the steel. After relaxation, the final HDPE flange can be installed. This process requires stretching the liner with a hydraulically powered stretcher box. This stretcher box stretches the liner a predetermined amount and then the liner is clamped into position. The HDPE flange is fused on, the clamp removed, and the liner will then retract into the steel pipe. That is the tight liner process. We can then bolt on the fittings or bolt line connections to line connections. The pipeline is ready to be hydro-tested and operated. The completed DRD City Deep project took about 6 weeks to perform the 5.6 kilometers. Tight liner is an excellent solution for any corrosive or abrasive application. It is an excellent solution for rehabilitation as well as new construction. Contact AG on South Africa should you have any further questions.